So, yeah, it's about time I explained polymorphism using Java. Polymorphism is a Greek word. Poly means many, morph means shape. Together, you get the concept of many shapes or forms. It's a general programming concept. Objects can identify as other objects, objects of different types. Objects can be treated as objects of a common superclass. A dog identifies as a dog, but it can also identify as an animal. It can also identify as an organism. It can also identify as an object. It can identify as more than one thing. In this topic, we're going to create a few vehicle objects. Let's create a few classes, file, new, Java class. We will create a superclass of vehicle. This class doesn't have to be abstract, but let's make it abstract. We can't create any vehicle objects. We will declare an abstract method that doesn't return anything. The return type is void. If you're a vehicle, you need a go method. So what we're going to be doing is creating a few different types of vehicles. A car, bike, and boat class, which will inherit from the class of vehicle. So let's create these classes, file, new, Java class. We will create a car class that extends the vehicle class. But there is an abstract method of go that we need to define. We will use the @override annotation. The method will be return type of void, go. All we'll do is output, you drive the car. All right, let's do this with a few other classes. I'll just copy this method because we'll reuse it. We'll create a bike class. Bike extends vehicle. And we need that method of go. You ride the bike. And a boat class. File, new, Java class, boat. Boat extends vehicle. You sail the boat. That is good enough for now. Going back to our main Java file, let's create these objects. Starting with our car. Car equals new car. Bike equals new bike. Boat equals new boat. Each of these objects has a go method. For example, let's have our car object use its go method, followed by bike.go method, and boat.go method. You drive the car, you ride the bike, you sail the boat. So let's say we would like to have a race. We're going to place all of these objects within an array, our car, bike, and boat objects. So what should the data type of the array be? Let's attempt to create an array of car objects and place our bike and boat objects within that array, and we'll just see what happens exactly for learning purposes. I will create an array of cars. The data type is car. It's an array named cars equals curly braces. Let's stick our car, bike, and boat objects within here. We're already getting a few error messages. Incompatible types. Bike cannot be converted to car. Bikes and boats don't identify as cars. Cars identify as cars. That's one of the shapes that bikes and boats don't have. They don't identify as cars. If this were an array of bikes, bikes equals our array of objects, well then we have another error message. Car cannot be converted to a bike. And you can assume the same thing applies with boats. Cars and bikes don't identify as boats. What we could do is declare our array of what they have in common. Well, our car, bike, and boat, they all extend the vehicle class. You could say they also identify as vehicles. We're going to change the data type of our array to hold vehicles. We have an array of vehicle objects. And then let's change our array name to be vehicles. Cars identify as cars, but also vehicles. Bikes identify as bikes, but also vehicles. Boats identify as boats, but also vehicles. That's the one thing they all have in common. They're all extending the vehicle superclass. They're also considered vehicles. That's another one of their forms, their shapes. For every object within this array, I would like to have each object use its go method, like we're racing. Well, what we could do is use a for each loop. What's the data type of the array? Well, it's vehicle. We have an array of vehicles. We will give a nickname of each vehicle as vehicle in my array of vehicles. For every vehicle in this array of vehicles, let's take each vehicle, call the go method, take every vehicle object, call its go method. Here's the result. You drive the car, you ride the bike, you sail the boat. Oh, and another thing I'm forgetting. Polymorphism can also be achieved through using interfaces. Let's delete our vehicle class. We'll create a new Java class. This will be an interface of vehicle. Rather than extending the vehicle class, we will implement the vehicle interface. We will declare a method of go that doesn't return anything. These methods do need an access modifier. Let's just say public. So polymorphism can be achieved this way too, through using interfaces, if you prefer interfaces. In summary, polymorphism means many shapes. It's where objects can identify as themselves, but also other objects. Objects can be treated as objects of a common superclass. And well, everybody, that is an introduction to polymorphism using Java.